Hello, my name is Dustin Hougas, and I am a current employee and former graduate of Lighthouse Christian Academy. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the curriculum that the school uses. The curriculum they use is A.C.E, Accelerated Christian Education. They use a unique approach to teaching. When I first came to the school, the first thing they did was sit me down to do some diagnostic testing. What they do there is they set you on a computer. It's an online test run off of A.C.E's website, and it's designed to figure out where the students' learning gaps are if they have any. So you'll do your math, science, English, your core subjects to figure out if you know what you're supposed to know for your age level. After the tests are done, that will give them a printout on paper to see physically and mentally where you're at with your schooling. And from that point on, they can put you where you need to be to learn what you need to learn. For me, it helped me out because I was struggling in school and had been for a long time, and I was more worried about the guy sitting to the left or right of me, worried about them knowing that I didn't know the things I needed to know. And the difference in an A.C.E school is the guy sitting to the left or right of you could be a completely different grade level and working on completely different subjects, so they wouldn't know, nor would they care, what it is you were working on. So I didn't have to worry about the embarrassment factor of how far I was behind in school. After the diagnostic testing is done, they sit you down at your school desk and they'll bring you what's called a PACE. And a PACE is a booklet or work booklet of the material that whatever your class is, that's the material for the class. In public school, you normally have a big textbook you'd have to carry around, but in A.C.E, they break that textbook up into 12 mini booklets, which are your PACEs, and that's what makes up your course. You get one PACE at a time, which also helps with being less distracting, because if you had a big textbook, you'd be flipping through all the pages to see things that you're not even working on. But in the PACE, you just have the one booklet, and that's all you get to work on. And it's broken up into 3 to 4 sections. Your first section you'll read, it'll give you your vocabulary, what the book is mainly about, and that's how you'll begin. And after you get about 5 pages into the book, and you've answered some questions, you're going to have a checkup. And a checkup is the equivalent to a quiz in public school, where you've been working on something for a little bit and then all of a sudden your teacher says pop quiz. Well, this is the same thing, except for you can guarantee and know that it's coming because they're in every book, every so many pages. The checkup is a review of everything that you've done on the previous pages. So the previous 5 pages are all covered on this checkup. Key questions and the main points of what you were supposed to be learning. Once you pass the checkup, that has proved that you know the information previous to that point. So now you can move on to the next section. If you do not pass a checkup, you do not move on. You erase the checkup, you redo the work to make sure you grasp and retain the information. Once you can pass the checkup, then you know it's okay to move on. After the checkup, you'll do your section 2 work, and you'll go through the book all the way to the end. If you successfully pass all the checkups, then you're going to have a self-test. The self-test is going to cover all the main information that was on your checkups and throughout the book. The self-test it's actually a pre-test. If you can pass the self-test with a 90 or above, that means you can move on to take the main test, which is the PACE test. The reason the tests worked well for me, the self-test and the PACE test system, is because if you knew that you passed the self-test, you knew without a shadow of a doubt, you're 9 times out of 10 going to pass that PACE test, because it's almost the same exact material that has been covered. So you've worked to a point where you feel confident about taking your PACE test because you've studied everything, you did well on the self-test, So you know that that PACE test is going to go well for you. So before you even get to the table, usually you're already in a right set of mind because you've already pumped yourself up, knowing that you did good on the self-test. Compared to public school, where they'll throw the test at you, you don't necessarily know what's going to be on that test. In the A.C.E. curriculum, you know what's going to be covered on the test because you've had the checkups and the pre-test, the self-test leading up to it, letting you know something that's been on these 5 tests is going to be on that test. So in your mind, you already know what's going to be on the test. The way the PACE system is set up helps you prepare for that final test, the PACE test, because you've known what you've done on the checkups and the self-test. So in your mind, you're mentally ready. The best part about the PACE system is it being mastery-based. You're not allowed to fail in a PACE system, because if you fail, you did not learn what you were supposed to learn. So on a PACE test, anything below an 80% is a failure. Compared to public school, you could get a C or a D. Well, there's no such thing as a C or a D in A.C.E. curriculum, because in their mind, if you're getting a C or a D, you're failing because somewhere along the way you're not learning what you're supposed to learn. In the PACE test, as long as you have an 80% or higher, which is a B, then you get the grade. So with A.C.E. curriculum, you feel more confident because you're getting the A's and B's. And there's no child left behind like in public school system where they're going to push you along whether you know the information or not. It's a guarantee with the A.C.E. curriculum that if you don't know the information, you're not going to move on because it's mastery based. You're going to get to do it until you understand and work at your own pace.